So here we are at the world famous Reversing Falls. The entire St. John River goes through a little tiny narrow channel right down there through this rocky gorge. Right now the river is running out, the tide is coming up, so once the height of the tide in the harbor meets the height of the river, it goes flat and it is navigable. Because it is still flowing out, we can do it a little bit early if we want, but looking with the binoculars, it's still pretty rough, a lot of current flow. We're approximately half an hour or less early for the slack, but it all depends on the height of the river. If the river is really high or really low, it will change things. Lovely pulp mill right there, but we go under the bridge, around the corner, under another bridge, and we are in the main St. John Harbour. And off we go. There's these lovely islands right here. You don't ever want to step foot on them. They are so covered with guano. There's huge populations of seagulls and cormorants that live there. I'm just going to zoom in and you can see all that black are birds all over the island. Well, peak high tide, there's about a 6-foot wall of water that is flowing up the river, and it pushes the river up for probably 90 nautical miles. There's tidal action. At peak low tide, there is a 6-foot wall of water flowing out, so that's why they call it the Reversing Falls. So we were in quite a deep pool. You notice that we're coming up, the bottom's coming up to us fast, so there's a little ridge kind of right here close to where the pulp mill is. There's really no danger for any private boat coming through, and what limits the size of boat that can come through is actually the height of the mast going under the bridges. So there's actually a waterfall under this falls. So we've got 30 feet of water and it's suddenly going to plunge. You can still see a fair amount of river flow coming down past the pulp mill. We briefly went up to 15 feet of water.
Or down.
Current going on here.
Doesn't feel like it when we're doing 9.5.
Yeah, we went from
over the ground.
We're doing 9.5 knots over the ground. So another little ridge here, and then the water drops again. All happening deep down. We're at over 100 feet of water, from 15 to 100 feet of water in the space of probably probably 100 yards or less. You have millions and millions and millions of gallons of flowing per hour from the St. John River, the Kennebecasis rivers, and it all comes into this narrow gorge here. I'm going to move forward so you going under the bridge. There's quite a bit of current that's swirling the boat around, so steering is a little bit interesting. Here we go under that bridge. We've got split rock here. There's another little rock over on that side, but the current tends to push it well away from both of those rocks. And we're going to go kind of peeling around this corner. What's the water depth now?
It was 16, now 90. 150. Back to 65. 130. 170.
And there are the buildings of uptown St. John. In a moment we're going to be going under the bridge. That's the main highway from the Maine border right through to the Nova Scotia border, actually. PEI. Looks like somebody heading up the river. And a couple of sailboats heading up the river. We often have visitors come from Nova Scotia, come from the US, because the St. John River is one of the best sailing rivers on the whole eastern seaboard. So it's not unusual to see a lot of traffic in and out through during the slack tides. Here we are in the harbour. This is Market Slip. Right there's some new buildings going in with shops and apartments and all kinds of things. And soon next summer there's going to be a whole lot more down here. And we're going to head in because there's a little grocery store on Water Street, which is the street we see the cars on right there. They're planning on building some water steps into here. There used to be a volleyball court, but I'm not sure what's going in there now, but it's going to be quite exciting. Lots of activities. I think there's going to be an outdoor skating rink for the winter, all kinds of fun stuff. And these are some of the old buildings, the old port buildings, and they've been repurposed, and there's a big mall inside here and all these fun restaurants. So this is the uptown of St. John. In 1877, this was completely destroyed by fire. And most of the buildings up here were built in 1878. There's all kinds of beautiful architecture. And again, down this Water Street where we're heading, there's neat little shops and a restaurant, brew pub right down here with an outdoor patio. They've actually got an outdoor patio on the other side of their building, which is on the street up there. And this is what is going to be built right down here on the waterfront. For any boats that come visiting, there's lots of fun stuff to see. And this is another view of the plan for Market Slip, where the boat is sitting right now. And it's pretty cool, all these old buildings. This was a massive port, one of the busiest ports. You can see the old advertising is still up on the side of the building. A lot of these buildings, the upper floors, have been made into condominiums. This building, although there's a pub already in the upper floors, I would love to put a pirate-themed rum bar in here. Would that not be really cool? Kind of reminds me of the Frog and Onion in Bermuda. Further down here, they have built a container village. Shipping containers are in this port all the time. There's a big music festival. Area 506 happens every summer. We have a lot of cruise ships, and they built a cruise ship terminal, and they used to have tents with vendors. So they built this container village that all the vendors have permanent spaces in, not just a tent. And there's all sorts of really cool little shops, and the food trucks come in here as well. And when we had the Memorial Cup, this place was absolutely hopping. There was music every single night, free concerts every single night in here. It's Area 506 because the area code for all of New Brunswick is 506. So right here is this really cool little grocery store. So if you're down in the harbor with your boat, you can get a lot of stuff. There's a cooler section and all kinds of fresh fruit and condiments and all kinds of stuff. some food trucks, beaver tails. We have all sorts of cool little shops all up and down here, and they're picnic places. And if you're not from Canada, yes, both lobsters and cannabis are legal here, and you can buy your cannabis right there. We got these this whole uptown area is really dog friendly as well. A lot of the restaurants have outdoor patios, and you're welcome to bring your dogs. And here's the rivers and falls from below. We decided to come back early. We were going to stay down and watch some fireworks in the harbor, but it was way too bouncy and windy in Market Square. So we're just waiting to go through. There's a sailboat coming down. He's a little bit nuts because it's running up so hard that we don't even want to go with it. But anyway, he will get on the treadmill and probably park somewhere. This is the end of the inward run. We came out with the end of the outward run. So it's always nice to have a little bit of current with you. So it's just past high tide. Still got some swirliness going. You can see the bit of the rock there that it's rolling over. There's just the top of Split Rock that we saw before. See the seawater piling up on top of the river water right there, still running in hard. And we know that boat that was trying to come down, and he's given up, and look at him cruising in now. He wasn't getting anywhere.